All right, it's a trigger warning. You're no longer in PC, you're now in the YouTube streets. Now, Cowboy's doing these interviews and he's saying that he's holding his man down, and everybody telling him that, yeah, you're doing the right thing, and yo, you just clearing bro name, this, that, and the third. Look, if they didn't need him to take the stand to seal in this conviction, then they wouldn't ask him to do it. They don't do things for no reason, and he knows that. He's like 50 years old. That's number one. Number two, I know Nip rolling in his grave right now if he really, really was standing on that Crip stuff that these guys is pushing out there. Now, let's be real. Cowboy is bragging about how he's the one that put Nip down with the hood. He's the reason why Nip turned Crip. Otherwise, he was a good kid, normal kid in the neighborhood that was, into his studies and doing his music. And him hanging around Cowboy, wanting to be like him. And instead of Cowboy being like, nah, stick to your rap and stick to the school stuff, he's like, nah, like, if you want to rap, you know what I'm saying, you got to get down with the hood, because otherwise, dude's not going to stand behind you like that, and you basically just going to get harassed. This is what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not verbatim, but what he's saying in the interviews and all that. That's what it's coming down to. That's what he's saying. That's what it means. So instead of him being a real big homie and being like, nah, let me try to keep you out of trouble, seeing as you got both parents at home, and you're not really raised, to be a part of this environment in this way. He instead names him after himself. Now, when he did that, he must have explained to him the rules to the game, that you're not supposed to tell, and if somebody kills your man, you're supposed to get in the car, get a gun, and you're supposed to go shoot that man that killed your boy, not take the stand and give information to get him locked up. This is what, if he put him down with the set, then he had to have explained to him what the rules are. You know what I'm saying? Even though those rules is pretty much unspoken at this point in time. So at the end of the day, what type of big homie is you? And then your little homie dies, and instead of you doing what you told him to do, what you instructed him to do in this type of situation, you go and do the exact opposite. So there's no way that Nip is not rolling around in his grave. You know what I'm saying? Like, which is it? You know what I mean? Because you, as a big homie, had a responsibility to, be a good example for him. And instead you put him down. Why would you put him down with the gang and then turn around and, do the exact opposite on what it is that gang's supposed to be standing on? So that makes you a hypocrite. You know what I'm saying? It's real weird, and it's shameful. Like, you got to be ashamed of yourself, honestly. You know what I mean? Because if you got killed, I highly doubt Nip would be going to the police and showing up to court and doing all that stuff. If you got killed, if Nip didn't go pick up a gun himself, he probably would have dropped that bag and put a bag on somebody's head behind you. And what did you do? You did the exact opposite. So I'm not saying whether or not it's right or wrong. This has nothing to do with what's right and what's wrong, what's lawful, what's unlawful. But it has everything to do with these hypocrites in our communities that we looking up to, that we following behind in the streets. And then when the shoe's on the other foot, they do the opposite on what they instruct us to do. So it is what it is. But you're going to have to hold that, man. That's a big giant L, ain't it?